What is up guys, welcome back to episode number 2 of building Coruscant, the hunt for Ahsoka. So before we get into this one, I want to say a huge thank you for all the support we got on last week's video. You guys absolutely smashed it, so thank you so much, and hopefully we can continue this going throughout the entire series. But this is going to be another jam-packed episode with loads of building, so let's get straight into this episode. But before we do, if you do end up enjoying, make sure to drop a like. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and leave your feedback in the comment section down below. But this week I started off by prototyping what I was going to do for the walkways that we're going to run over the pipes. This is the first one I've done right here. This is just sort of working out the length and the sort of what I want to do with the railings and that sort of thing. I think this turned out really nice, and you can see it just fits perfectly above the pipes right there. I will actually be going back in and adding a staircase on one side, so this will not be exactly how you'll see it in the finished product, but yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. However, I did use light bluish grey lightsaber hilts, which I'm not entirely sure about right now. I'm going to look into whether they've made these in dark bluish grey or not, or whether I have to use a different technique, but let me know what you think of this so far on this walkway. I will be tiling this off, so it'll be nice and clean, don't worry, it won't be just studded off like that, but yeah, so far happy with what I've managed to get done. So both last week and a few minutes ago I mentioned staircases, so this is something that I'm going to have multiple of running down into the lower areas between the pipes. So I'm going to have one on this back wall here and then two on the pipes on either side. So I actually got inspiration for this technique right here by a guy named Rich Boy J. I'm sure most of you have heard of him. He's one of the best mock builders in the game right now. So he made these awesome staircases for his Starkiller base mock, and I really love the way this looked, so I think this would be perfect for what I wanted to put here. So I decided to go ahead and prototype this for this area here. Obviously there's still some things I need to add to this. I didn't have enough pieces to complete a full set of stairs right now, but I'm going to order all the pieces I need for all of the other stairs. Then I went ahead and just built up the rest of this back wall, as well as doing a load more filler brick right here. I'm going to get a ton of that done in this episode, so stay tuned for that. I sort of had to build this up as I went along because I wanted to sort of work on the wall bit by bit, and I decided to build this up a little bit so this was ready for the staircases. So once I had this in, I could now put in the staircases a bit more and tile off the bottom area so it would fit around where the staircases would go, and sort of add that bottom little step in as well. So first off, I had this bottom step just propped up by one stud right there, but it wasn't quite high enough, the gap didn't feel right, so I decided to put it on two studs, and I think this looks a lot better. I did then try out this other technique with another stair right at the bottom, but I didn't think this looks very good, so I decided to take this out, and I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to have a slight step down from that bottom step onto the floor. I'm not just going to have the stairs on the back wall, I'm also going to have one on either side of the pipe, so I'm going to have this here. I'm not entirely sure how close I want to have it to the other set of stairs yet, but I'm going to sort of work on this and see what I can come up with. But yeah, overall I think this stair design looks really good, so huge shout outs again to Rich Boy J. It's slightly fiddly, but I think it looks amazing and it's perfect for what I wanted to include, so I'm definitely excited to see the finished product. I did also add in a few patches of sort of like water on the ground. Obviously we do see it raining very heavily in the scene, so I decided to go ahead and add a few little patches of water using these trans black tiles and studs right here. Let me know in the comments what you think about this. I'd love to hear your feedback on this little technique. But overall, I'm really happy with the way this walkway is coming along. I am going to go ahead and tile this off with loads of different grills and that sort of thing later on in this episode. And speaking of tiling off, I also did a bit more tiling underneath this walkway as well. I then also started to mark out where things were going to be on the other side of the mock as well. So this is the other side of the pipe between the second and third pipes. I also went ahead and laid down a ton of filler brick behind this area. I obviously got to build this entire area up quite substantially, so I went for as sort of efficient as possible, using loads of different long pieces and long Technic bricks and that sort of thing to sort of branch over and complete this entire area right here. Okay, so I just got a couple of orders in right here. So these were actually going to be opened in tomorrow's haul video, but I decided to show you a few things that I got in my Bricklink orders that are going to be useful for the mock. I'm not going to show you the entire thing. I decided not to unbox it all on this mock video right here, but yeah, we've got some grill pieces as well as loads more in there. That's kind of like a jumbled mix of pieces that are going to be useful for Coruscant and other mocks. And then we got these curved pieces, which are really going to be good for finishing off the end of the piping. And then we have these ladder pieces, and then these pieces right here. These are going to be the pieces that connect the pipes and sort of hold them up, which are going to be good pieces just to put for some details around the pipes and that sort of thing. But yeah, basically all of that is just the highlights of the hauls that I'm going to open in tomorrow's vlog video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But yeah, these are just the pieces that are going to be useful for Coruscant. So now with all these new pieces acquired, it was time to go into my first building Coruscant live stream, which I did on my channel a few nights ago. So huge thank you to everyone who came along to that. It was a huge turnout, so thank you so much. But yeah, we got loads and loads of work done. We managed to build up these end pieces here. I actually got all three completed. I'm going to go back in and change up a few areas of it, but yeah, really happy with what I managed to get done, and a huge shout out to every single person who came along. It was a ton of fun. So you'll notice last week I actually showed you a couple of different techniques that I wanted to use for this end section. I asked you guys on a couple of polls on Instagram and that sort of thing, which was the best technique. And the vote ended up being so tight, I ended up having to just make the decision myself. And I went with this sort of more curved technique. I think this is more accurate to what is seen in the actual scene. So I decided to go with this, and I hope you guys think this is the right decision. I then worked on the walkway. I managed to tile off the rest of the underside of it and sort of get it a bit more structurally sound underneath, as well as also moving all the pieces around. They were kind of slightly off, and I managed to tile off the entire upper section as well, which looks really good in my opinion. It wasn't too much of a detailed technique, but I just wanted to get the entire thing covered. I can always go back in and add some more details in the future. Next up, I wanted to just go over and tile a bit more of the base section here. So you can see I'm doing this, and then I also added a few more tiles around the base of the second piping area. With this, the underside was looking a lot nicer and a lot more complete, so I decided to turn my attention back to these end sections, and I tried to go back in and add a bit more detail to these sections right here. So I went ahead and added some more masonry bricks in and just sprinkled a bit of detail throughout this area. Next job on the list was to extend the wall all the way to the end, so I'm going to leave you with this time lapse. I hope you enjoy this, and I'll cut back in just a second. And with that wall a bit more built up, I decided to take apart the entire third section right here and completely rebuild it with some more details in it. I think this is just an easier way to get all the details in. And I get this all sorted before I add the actual pipe in, which is really much easier than actually going back in and adding the details post installation of the pipe. And then with this, all three of the end of the pipes are done. I do need to build these up a bit more, but I'm waiting to have the pipes installed before I go ahead and do that. Obviously, I've got to work out where to put that little pin brick in order to mount the pipes in there. Okay, so the final thing I'm going to get done this week is loads of tiling. So I went ahead and put tiles down all along the edge right here, just so I can get a sense for where these tiles are going to go. And from here I could add some more details in, such as another puddle right here, as well as tiling off all around that. And then I went ahead and tried and put the lines of grills in that were going to go underneath the pipes. I firstly did this completely wrong. The measurements underneath in the middle section were slightly different to the measurements on the sides, so I got this all completely wrong and had to redo this entire section, flinging tiles all over my bedroom. But we got this done, and I finally have this all finished now, so I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the time lapse, and I'll cut back in right at the end. So yeah, there we go. After a few little troubles and tribulations, we have finished that area right there. I know I didn't get a ton of stuff done this week. I did have a bit of a shortened week, but I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. I really enjoyed making this mock, and I'm so enjoying this series as a whole so far. Let me know what you think of this in the comment section down below. Make sure to leave a like if you are enjoying. Of course, make sure to hit that subscribe button. It's completely free and very easy to do, and it allows you to stay up to date on everything that I do post on my channel. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.